All right, let's dive into the incredible science that just snagged the Nobel Prize in medicine. This is a story about a double agent that's hiding inside every single one of us. It's a part of our body that can be our greatest protector, but it can also become a secret weapon for our deadliest enemies.
So think about this for a second. Your immune system is this amazing, powerful army. Its job is to hunt down and destroy anything that's not supposed to be there. Viruses, bacteria, you name it. But how does that army know not to attack you? What stops it from looking at your own heart or your own lungs and opening fire? What prevents an all-out civil war inside your own body?
Well, the answer is a really elegant concept called immune tolerance. This is basically the body's built-in set of rules of engagement. It's an active, ongoing process that's constantly telling your immune army, hey, stand down. This is friendly territory. Honestly, without it, we'd be in a constant state of self-destruction. And figuring out how this works, that's what just won the Nobel Prize.
Okay, so let's start with part one of this story, the incredible discovery of the actual cells that enforce this ceasefire. Let's meet the immune system's very own peacekeepers.
For a long time, scientists had a pretty simple idea of how this all worked. The body has this little organ called the thymus, and the thinking was that it was like a boot camp. Any immune cell that showed signs of being a traitor, one that might attack our own body, it was just eliminated, zapped, a simple one-time security check. But it turns out, biology is way more clever than that.
The real story started to come together with a few huge breakthroughs from our 3 Nobel winners. You can see it here on the timeline. It all kicked off in 1995 when Shimon Sakaguchi found this totally new kind of T-cell that wasn't an attacker, but a suppressor. Then, in 2001, Mary Brunkow and Fred Ramsdell found the genetic master switch that actually builds these cells. Together, they totally rewrote the book on immunology.
And here they are. These are the peacekeepers. They're officially called regulatory T cells, but everyone just calls them Tregs. Think of them like the special forces of diplomacy in your immune system. When other immune cells get too aggressive and are about to cause some friendly fire, the Tregs rush in and tell everyone to calm down, to stand down. They are the enforcers of immune tolerance.
So, finding the peacekeeper cells, that was a huge deal. But the next massive question was, well, what makes them? How does the body write the orders for this very specific type of cell? It was time to find the master switch.
And the clue, amazingly, came from this incredibly rare and tragic disease called IPEX syndrome. See, kids born with this have immune systems that go completely haywire. They suffer from this catastrophic breakdown of immune tolerance, and their own bodies viciously attack them. Scientists figured whatever is broken in these children must be the exact thing that works in everyone else. This is where it all clicked. Mary Brunkow's team was the first to pinpoint the exact cause of IPEX, a single mutated gene called FOXP3. And at almost the exact same time, Fred Ramsdell's lab independently discovered that this very same gene was the master controller for those peacekeeper cells. It was this perfect, beautiful convergence of evidence from 2 different angles. So, this is the takeaway. FOXP3 is the master switch. It's not just another gene. It's the gene that literally writes the instruction manual for the Tregs. When FOXP3 is working right, you get a peacekeeping force. When it's broken, like an IPEX, you get total chaos. It's the commander-in-chief of keeping the peace inside our bodies. Okay, but this is where our story takes a really dark turn. Because this beautiful, elegant system that's designed to protect us, well, it turns out it can be hijacked. It can be turned into a secret weapon by cancer itself. This slide says it all. This is the 2 faces of the Treg. On one hand, they're the heroes, stopping autoimmune disease. But on the other, well, cancer is deviously clever. Cancer cells trick the body into thinking they're just normal tissue. So what do the Tregs do? They do their job. They swarm the tumor and create a protective shield, telling the immune army, nothing to see here, folks, move along. They become bodyguards for the cancer.
And this isn't just a theory. The clinical evidence is really grim. Study after study has shown that the more of these Treg peacekeepers you find inside a tumor, often the worse the patient's prognosis is. The cancer has successfully weaponized our own safety mechanism against us.
So that discovery was absolutely devastating. But it also threw open a door to a whole new way of fighting cancer. If cancer is using our peacekeepers as a shield, what if we could just temporarily take that shield away?
And it's exactly what's happening right now. This is not science fiction. Look at this number, over 600. That's how many clinical trials are currently happening, all trying to figure out how to block these Tregs right around the tumor to basically rip off cancer's invisibility cloak. and let our immune army finally see the enemy and attack.
But, and this is a huge but, it's an incredibly delicate balancing act. It's like walking a tightrope. The goal? You want to disable the Tregs just enough to expose the tumor, but the risk is enormous. If you go too far, you could accidentally trigger a massive autoimmune disease, essentially telling your immune system to attack everything. It's one of the biggest challenges in medicine today.
You know, in the middle of all this world-changing science, it's just great to remember the people behind it. When Dr. Mary Brunkow's husband woke her up to tell her she'd just won the Nobel Prize, her very first reaction was just, "Don't be ridiculous." Just a perfectly humble human reaction to an absolutely monumental achievement.
And that really brings us to the final, massive question this Nobel Prize leaves us with. This discovery gave us the map. It showed us exactly how cancer hides. Now, the future of medicine hangs on the answer to this one question. Can we master that switch? Can we learn to turn off cancer's shield without starting a civil war inside our own bodies? The answer to that is going to change everything.